further ado, we're going to move into our first session, and this is conducted by two experts on the field of urban commons. This is titled Under the Rubble, and I'd like to introduce Nityanand Jayaraj, activist and journalist from Chennai, and Jayaraj from Indian Institute of Human Settlements to kindly take over.
Resulting into a larger network. Fundamentally, very important. I agree with him half, I don't agree with the other half. Let me say why. I'll get to that. I think they're common, but it's true obviously that they're all man-made. Now, where did we get there? We got there because in the mid part of the first 1,000 years, and from about 1,500 years, maybe 1,000 years, they are built individually as irrigation tanks as a result of Chola, Pandya and hence Vijayanagara Empire expanding the agricultural region, irrigation, population, territories, etc. through tank technology. What is tank technology? Tank technology is if you have certain water body, which is for instance a river, you can only cultivate next to it and etc. As you go further, you don't have enough water. Now, you take a canal and build a tank. You take a canal from there, build a tank. Take a canal, build a tank. And so on and so on. So on, 1,000 years, we have built more than 135,000 tanks all over South India, which is from the current documentation remaining. And they have continuously changed. And they changed according to new territories being captured, old territories being closed, combinations of agricultural lands based on new systems of power, feudal power and so on. They continuously change. So the tank technology is an idea system because you can take water far and far and far, and then you could actually cultivate, create a huge fertile regions in South India, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, all these regions, all Vijayanagara Empire regions, Kerala, so on. Right? Not that they were only irrigation tanks, but they were also then, as they moved on, became a social ecology of sacred groves lands. They became places of temples. They were named after villages. Rajanahalli in Bangalore, Kaikondanahalli in Bangalore, Mestripala in Bangalore. You take Hyderabad, you take different places. They are village tanks, drinking water, cattle rearing. It created economy, and they were also named after people who built them, so on and so forth. So, yeah. The first broad brush. What did it do? It was made also in relation to the drainage ecology of the region. Why drainage ecology is important? Because we have not invented a JCB which can restructure the drainage ecology. We could only, the macro drainage ecology. Bangalore has 3 valleys in it, huge. So we will invent at some point in time that can restructure the macro drainage ecology that's regards and so on. But we do right now micro transactions, changes. So what did they do basically? They did 2 things about other than the economy. They actually mitigated the flood, when rain happens, so it goes through water and then the man-made canals and the next tank and man-made. So they kind of slowed down the flood. Second, they actually sustained water, which in fact was used for many activities, housing, drinking, economy, agriculture, irrigation, whatnot. Second, broad. Post-independence, they have changed into institutions of management with the government, which includes a large number of institutions. The institutions include Department of Revenue, Department of Lake Development Authority, PWD, and so on and so on. That's government department. It used to be managed previously by the very different complex social relations. Yeah. Power relations between the emperor Vijayanagara Empire and the local feudal landlord, and there's a large number of power relations. Because the moment they become a network, very fundamental conceptual understanding that I think we need to do is they are autonomous in themselves, in the sense they are an individual entity, but they are entirely networked entities. So any disturbance in one of them affects the network, it transmits the network to the individual. So and so, it's a kind of connective relational entity. When government agencies took over, different agencies had different territories. For instance, you take Municipal Corporation of Bangalore talks about their own small boundary of 150 kilometers to be expanded and so on, currently to agencies. Many things result in the next move. What is it? One is malaria. Mosquitoes started hanging out in this, and malaria problems. housing, land for housing was required. So we developed a detailed process technology of reclamation. Reclamation is not easy. And these are large tanks. We need institutional machines to come and break the bund. It's not just individual or small builders can go and do it, but small builders also do it. And if you look at how small builders do it, they do it through years together of debris dumping. It is actually a technology. It's not just people just throwing garbage and things. Extremely developed. There are contractors who are actually hired to do this. There is a method of doing it. First is cutting off visibility from cutting off what's going on inside, and this is an extremely detailed technique of doing that. Why? Because obviously the new people or the new requirements is land for housing. Because so you will see ST bed layouts near Koramangala, or you will see Miller's tank bund. Right? These are all actually made, or majestic bus stands. They were made for infrastructure, they were reclaimed for institutions, they were reclaimed for housing, they were reclaimed all kinds of things. Now, first phase we saw a whole group of people, a certain economy, certain power relations, constructing it, using it, transforming it. Second group, we also see a certain group of people, particular requirement, distinct from it. They are not irrigation tanks anymore, right? They're in the city, particularly. The third in the last 15 years, or maybe you can say from the 86 onwards, mid-80s, people, they're ecologists. The first PL by an ecologist, public investigation was an ecologist, because you have ornithologists. The birds were not there. They were worried. Why are the birds not there? Because of sewage in the lake. So why is sewage in the lake? Because the Bangalore water supply sewerage board doesn't have the capacity to handle the sewerage. Why do they not have the capacity to handle sewerage? Because the density is higher than planned. Why are the densities higher than planned? We can go on and on. So they have to let it out somewhere. And it is common, actually. It is actually, without those, we would not be living in Bangalore. Right? There is need some place for letting it out. So they started letting it out, so the birds didn't come, etc. So the public investigation, government put a committee, there was a Lakshman Rao committee report, there was said these lakes have been filled and they have to be reclaimed and documented. 600 lakes in Bangalore, it used to be, now around 130 lakes. What do you do with them? Convert them into 3 parts, because the link channels are already broken with reclamations of any kind, and it just went on. So there are many different government committees, court orders. Lake Development Authority came in as an agency to manage all lakes in Bangalore, registered as Section 25 company, not even as a public with enough public capacity, only the symbolic capital of IAS officer or whoever forest official is managing it. So many things that have gone through. And then comes Leo Saldana from Environment Support Group with a public interest litigation saying you can't privatize the lake because the Lake Development Authority went back to the old Hardin's argument about tragedy of commons, saying that either you privatize the commons or you have to have a very strong state. Now you don't have a very strong state here, and so you privatize it. So they gave it to hotels to take care of it and so on. And Leo Saldana went to court saying this is not right, it's unconstitutional, these are common things. So the court said that is true, and so that privatization thing stopped. Now, built on that, a large number of, actually not large number, small groups from, you can say 2000, early part of 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 2005 actually, started working on their neighborhood list, getting to old individuals. They started actually looking at this. Okay, now this lake has all these networks broken, but this is there, so let's save it. They start saving it. Now saving a lake is not a small story, because the lake is not a lake. Now they use the word lake, not tank anymore, right? So they started saving it. Now to save it, you have to understand the beginning of planning, beginning of public administration, because these are spatial entities created through democratic governance process. Now you can't just make a lake smart, right? It's easier if you just build them, that's it. But they are actually enabled through detailed political processes of institutional governance, democratic governance. That's learning. It took from 2005 to 2016 a large number of them to get to any level of confidently to say, this lake will not be any more reclaimed. Kaikonhalli, Putnahalli, Maithripalaya, these were the three ones. This move resulted in the explosion of large number of lake saving groups in Bangalore. There's a large number of them. Yeah? And they're all struggling with this idea of they can only do their own immediate lakes. What about the network? What about the sewage that is coming in? What about the larger areas of the wetlands around the lake which is found being reclaimed? And I can't go into that. We can go into that on detail on actual, we call it actual particular spatial morphology of a particular what we call a lake. It's a very complex system. There is wetlands, there is village, there is sacred grove area, there is inlet, outlet, large kind of things. There is particular species. So some lakes we find them, some lakes we don't, and government build a road in the middle and suddenly only the bottom of portion remains and the rest goes away, so on and so on. Eventually, what I'm trying to say here is in 35 years or 30 years from you can say from the 80s, if say 3 lakes, 4 lakes, 5 lakes, it might take another 1 or 2 generations. What I'm trying to say is, this is the last point on the provocation that I'm asking. Is urban commons as a concept necessary? Why is that question itself important? That question is itself important because the moment we constitute ourselves as a nation state, what does the nation state do? The nation state immediately divides public and private, or creates the entities of public and private. Public government and private government, or private property, public property. What we see in our real study or our studies of real government, that's how actually governance happens, is there are communities of interest which are taken over whatever we call public. Yeah? And what we see in this case also is that when communities of interest form, commons form. And the commons and communities of interest are very closely connected. They are not distinguished. They, like that's the critique when he writes that, these are middle class idea of what an environment is. Sure, because it's a middle class group, it's a specific idea, but they don't have necessarily a specific idea. There are many ideas. There's the environment, there's they break, they form, reform, etc. There's a complex story going on. But the point is simple that it's a deep connection between communities of interest and commons. Now, when nation state is imagined as a community, then it could be possible to think about a public. But the public is not public anymore. Right? This is consumed in as the commons. Communities of interest are taken over the specific public, and so that's the network of that. So the question that comes in front of us is this. So I argue urban commons is necessary vocabulary needed. I think when Anand introduced the insufficiency of the knowledge, I find insufficiency of knowledge is also hugely accelerated by the insufficiency of vocabulary and category. And that is where urban commons, I would argue, is an important thing. Now the question to me, and which I would pose, is what is the relationship between the private commons, urban commons, and the public? There are 3 ways to think about it. One, commons subsumes the public and the private. Commons, public and the private is nested in the commons. Second, commons and the private is nested in the public. And the third, commons as the link that really makes the public and the private possible in real terms with larger questions of justice, questions of equity, questions of whatever we can do. And I think, as now, it's been a question I've struggled with for 5 years, and hence I've been writing a paper on that, the theoretical question, which is, I think I'm the last part, that is, commons as the link where private life is enabled by the commons, while the public enables that link.
The last year, there's been a lot of attention given to the problems that the city of Chennai faced. And in a sense, I think that the annual disasters are our only saving grace. That's the only time when people actually do some post-mortem, some analyses, and voices that have been in the fringe until then suddenly are given mainstream space. So we're looking forward to our next disaster in the coming months, which is the heat stress. So we have the journalists. I have about 4 or 5 stories which I keep recycling. I have a flood story, I have a water scarcity story, I have a cyclone story, I have a heat stress story, I have garbage story, and these will keep me going because I can just keep writing those and we keep churning the copy and money. The question that's been asked since last year is, how do we solve this problem? Okay, tell us what's the alternative. How do we get out of this? And the question is, nobody's even telling us, the problem is that nobody's telling us what the problem is that they would like solved. And I also am not very clear as to what that problem could be. The second is to do with what is the visioning period for the city. Are we looking at, because most of the visioning documents are vision 2020, 2025 is really long term. But are we talking about vision 2200? What about vision 3000? Are these in our visioning schemes at all? Because if they were, then our responses to a lot of these things would be very, very different. Because then you would be taking natural limits as if they are real. And right now we're talking about governance, we're talking about the need to grow, we're talking about a whole range of other things that are human compulsions, but which are at the end of the day defined by what nature will permit, either at a city level or on an island level or on a planetary level. So what does that have to do with the city? I think one of the key things in identifying a settlement as we go to find a place is siting. Where are you siting yourself? And what are the criteria you're using to site yourself? Within those siting criteria, how much importance is given to the criteria of ecological space, limits, nature of the area? Chennai city was built on the coast. It is not a good place for a harbour. The British found out the minute they built the harbour, East India Company built the harbour, the sea took it away, and then they made a much bigger harbour, a much bigger breakwater, and that big breakwater created the Marina Beach on one side and ate up the shores on the other side. And that was the price that was paid for locating a kind of an urban agglomeration in a place where it ought not to have been. If you look at the concept of, the city is growing, and then now we have a Greater Chennai Municipal Corporation, one wonders what is the meaning of the word great, what exactly does it mean? Is it just space or other larger notions behind this? And this growth doesn't seem to be ending. And if in all of the systems, particularly biological systems, if growth has a decay and a death, then what does the city have? Will it continue to grow? And if it grows, what does it grow on? So these are the three shocks, and these are the three things that keep us thinking and keep us on our toes. It's not just a rain and flooding shock, but we also have a cyclone with a storm surge and a possible flood risk. We have heat stress, which has heat stress, and it also has water scarcity that comes with it. And as a city, or as a location, not as a city, as a location, if you go back to Chennai before it became a large city, it was an agglomeration, it was like a scattered group of villages, hinterland, and coastal fishing hamlets, and with very patchy kind of networks, communication networks between these. When the British came, their interest was in trying to build the communication networks between these patchy places. So the ecology and the topography at the time was already altered by the human hand, and what we had over there is a combination of natural and human-made infrastructure. So natural infrastructure, Chennai is on a high-energy coastline, and which means that extremely high-velocity winds come all the way from the Malaysia. So there's a large expanse of water in the Bay of Bengal and to the south in the Indian Ocean. So we experience very high-velocity winds, and these winds have carved the coastal area into sandy beaches and sand dunes, a lot of sand dunes. And these sandy beaches and sand dunes are also not just like, brown wasteland, but this is our first line of defense against the coast's tempest and the stormy seas. Because these things, the dunes can grow up to a palmyra tree's height, and on top of that there is vegetation. So we have a kind of a coastal shield of about 30, 40 feet, which will prevent or which will retard the kind of onset of waves and the and the high velocity winds into the hinterland parts. So as a location, Chennai did not have trees. So the cyclone came and everybody's mourning the loss of trees. It is not meant to be a place with tall trees standing unless you have your coastal defense intact. You flatten your dunes, you settle over there and put up trees that grow very fast and look pretty with a large canopy, call it greening, call yourself environmental lovers, and then when the trees fall, now everybody's mourning and they're ready to repeat the same mistake again. The issue about the lost dunes and the lost line of defense has not been considered at all. The other thing that we have is the coastal beaches, the sandy beaches and the sand dunes are also large repositories of fresh water. They store fresh water, and besides providing us an above ground defense, they also provide us a below ground defense in terms of preventing the sea from entering the aquifers, coastal aquifers. The sea is constantly trying to claim more land. And that's why we say reclaiming it, because sea wants it, we want some of it also. And so take away the sands or flatten the dunes, and the sea advances much further into the city's aquifers, or into the location's aquifers, and makes you more vulnerable, because then for fresh water, you will have to come to Bangalore, and Bangalore is not giving it to us, so we have to have fights to get the water from there. The second important feature of Chennai's coast is the estuaries. There are 4 places where inland waters exit to the sea. But these estuaries are also places where the sea enters. The sea always is looking for ways to come in. It loves the land, and the land wants to keep the sea away. And so you have the same 4 drains from the north-south, the north-center, which is Kuam, and south, which is Adyar, and further south, called Govan. And these 4 locations, and I'll show it to you on a map. So the one at the top is the Ennuri, right up there, and then you have the Kuam, Adyar, and further south beneath the map is the Kovalam estuary. And so if you have, these are natural drains, so there is a gradient, so there's only a certain level to which the sea can push under normal conditions. These estuaries are also very important for us to maintain with their integrity. One, they of course enhance the biological productivity, but the second thing is these are the places through which floodwaters tend to come out. So you need to have drains going to the macro drains, and the macro drains egress to the sea needs to be unhindered. The fourth kind of thing that we have, the third kind of thing is the vegetation. The vegetation, as I said, in the first line of defense, we have dune vegetation, and then large trees start growing much further inland after there is protection from, because in the dune vegetation, the only large trees you can see are palmyra and probably cashew, which again doesn't grow very tall, and there are very few species that grow on the leeward side of the dunes. The final thing that we have is the large number of what Jayaraj was talking about, the tanks or the aeries. And these aeries were built probably dating back to the Chola time in the 800, 900 AD. And these were built because of the peculiarity of Chennai. Chennai does not get flooded, or the location where Chennai is not prone to flooding. It's a place which is prone to water running away. So the problem was storing water, not flooding. And so people carved these tanks in different places, and then the tanks were the centers of economy, of production, and around these tanks small settlements grew. These tanks are now also important from the point of view of water security, but also in terms of having a flood buffer. Yeah, so when the Chennai floods happened, the first thing that they said is that it's a natural disaster, there's unprecedented rains, and the rains were not really unprecedented because we don't know what unprecedented is. There's been about 4 billion years of the Earth's existence, out of which about 10,000 years of settled human civilization, and about 250 years of very patchy rain data from 2 weather stations in Chennai. And that is being used to average and say that there is unprecedented rainfall. Even the 1 in a 100-year rainfall, I think, is all nonsense. They don't know, because the rainfall that is being recorded is only recorded in a place called the 500 millimeters rain. It is recorded in Chembarambakkam, and that rain gauge is less than 25 years old. So how do they find out it's once in 100 years? One doesn't know. Things can get much worse than what they did last year because of the climate changes. The second thing that is said is caused because of encroachments, which is in a sense true. But when they talk about encroachments, they're talking about two kinds of encroachments. There are the elite encroachments, and there are the survival encroachments. And even within this, there are legal encroachments and illegal encroachments. So the court is always preoccupied, the courts of law are preoccupied with illegal encroachments. Making it seem as if you have a legal encroachment, the floodwaters will go around it because the Supreme Court has authorized it as a legal encroachment. So what is interesting about this is under human law, the license is very important. The location is not very important. I can build inside the sea and give it a license, and it's acceptable. But in natural law, the license is immaterial. Your location is all that matters, and that's why my first point about siting, I think, needs to be taken into consideration. So this is a very large marshland called Pallikarnai marshland. Was about 50 square kilometers a few decades ago, and this 50 square kilometer wetland had a watershed or a catchment of about 250 square kilometers. So water that falls off in the 250 square kilometers would drain into, the runoff would drain into this and eventually lead through that canal of the north into the Pakane Canal out to the sea. As Jayaraj was talking about, this is all these places what I'm talking about, what I talked about earlier, sand dunes or sandy beaches or the tanks, all these are classified in Tamil land use classification as Porambok. And Porambok essentially means outside the register. Puram means outside, and Porku means register or the land register. And so these are areas that were unassessed for revenue. And they were shared use commons. And this Porambok did not have a bad connotation. But over the years, now in Madras, when we say Porambok, we get slapped because you're calling somebody a total worthless shed. So it's like, Porambok is a word that is used to describe people who are worthless than worthless. And so, with the Porambok, if you ask anybody what does a Porambok mean, they will say it's a wasteland. But wasteland is not Porambok. Taris is Porambok, is wasteland. It means, Taris is an even worse word. It means gone case. But Porambok actually just means unassessed properties. But over the years, it has acquired this thing of being worthless, and therefore we have all the government schemes trying to inject new work into this worthless piece of property. And those areas of new work, in this case, for instance, we have the IT corridor. The Pallikarnai marshland is a marshland Porambok. And people look at it and say, it's actually empty, unused land covered by water. So let's give it new value and bring in the IT company, which is fantastic, great, work. It is international recognition. And so, right over here, that's about 350 acres of the marshland given away to Wipro, Infosys, Mahindra Tech, and that is called the Sholing and Nallur Elcott IT SEZ, Special Economic Zone. And so, this time the floods came. There were fish in the ground floor, there were turtles in the second floor, and snakes in the third floor. So from the basement right up to the second floor, there were like all kinds of aquatic life in there. So along with people, you also had wildlife rescuers in the city of Chennai, young people who went and rescued this wildlife. This is the Kodungayur Eri, or Kodungayur tank in 1970, and this is the Kodungayur tank in 2015. And if you look at it, it's neatly laid out. So somebody said, I think Jayaraj might have said something about planning and unplanning. These are planned disasters. So it's not as if Chennai grew in a completely unplanned manner. Yes, it is true for a large part, there's a lot of unplanned development, but this is planned development through a scheme that is ironically called ARI scheme, where it means build on a tank scheme, for which we borrowed money from World Bank, which did its due diligence, environmental impact assessments, social impact assessments, and here we have it. It was completely flooded. This is Velachery Eri, and that's Velachery Eri gone. This is in the IT corridor. This piece is remaining, but we're working on it. And you have a huge Phoenix Mall over here. And what is interesting about this, go to the next one. So in this, if you look at it, the red portions over there are the habitation, settlements. And beneath that is emptiness. So you have the Eri Porambok. On that side, you have the Naktam lands, which is where you can have buildings. In all the other Poramboks, you cannot shut off the sky, and you can't build on the land either. On the downgraded side of it, it's called the Baikal Porambok, or the grazing lands, which are meant to get flooded. They welcome the floods, because that way new nutrients come in, new grass grows. You can also have farming over there. So it was left empty until 1970, but then some bright sparks came into the administration and decided to develop layouts over here and the Baikal Poromok as well. This was one of the worst affected. It is also high value in the sense middle class settlements that got affected. And the reason why 2015 got a lot of press is because people like us got hurt, as well as people who are usually used to such disasters. So that has been roughly the kind of growth trajectory of Chennai. So what was 47 square kilometers built up in 1980 and 186 square kilometers of wetland has kind of completely reversed. You had 10 times more built up space and about half the wetlands gone. So when you have a kind of a planned disaster like this, the response to it ought to be that, okay, fine, we've learned from something, what is happening. This is the northern side, there's still a very large wetland that has been hurt quite badly, but there's still a lot more left to save over there. Yeah, so here this is the Chennai Master Plan, 2026 Master Plan. About 2,300 acres of location, I don't want to call it land because it's still water, has been identified for hazardous and special industries. And out of the 2,300 acres, 2,100 are wetlands. You have salt pans, you have mangroves, you have river, and you have water courses. So this has been identified, it has been approved, and on the basis of this, they're going to be constructing. Actually, work is happening right now. It has been stalled only because the fisher folk have kind of opposed it, put their bodies in the line of fire, and have stopped it from happening for the time being. The pressure is immense. So these are some of the transformations in the northern next one. In the northern, so if you look at this one, this is all from the 2005, so it's only happened in the last 10 years. This is the river exiting into the sea, and that is the place where the water comes into the river. This is the macro drainage. So you have that area has been transformed into a power plant, and it's ash pond, completely blocking off the exit. You can't build stormwater drains using corrupt engineers to actually pump out the water that's coming from such a large watershed into this drain. And all along this drain, this is the drain as in the Ennur Creek, you have several blockages. And this, as Jayaraj was talking about, this is the macro drainage. You might build wonderful stormwater drains leading to this, but if you choke this up, then you are bound to get flooded. This I wanted to show because, again, this poromok is a coastal beach poromok. We call it Karakara poromok. And this is full of sand dunes. These sand dunes were much higher than the ones in the part where I come from, because over here it's even more exposed. This is where the cyclone, the recent one, Magla, made landfall, is in this place of called Kartapalli. And here the dunes have been flattened, and we built the Adani port, and just south of it another port called the Ennur port. So the entire coastal defense has been wiped out. Interestingly, this area is also the area which falls in something called the Aranyat Kosastariyar Basin, and this is a place that provides drinking water to Chennai, because we're mining groundwater from there. So now here what's happening is, because when you mine groundwater in a coastal area, the seawater tends to come in, and then you take off the sand dunes, there's even more ingress of seawater, and you lose your source of drinking water. So what are we doing for that now? So what we're doing for that is, we're now building desalination plants to give us water. So if you're looking at the technological interventions in addressing the kinds of problems that we're seeing, they are very unidepartmental. Virtually every single department, like the Corporation of Chennai, the Metro Water, the Public Works Department, all of them are engineering heavy. They only have engineers. The problem over here might be a cultural problem, might be a problem of value, as to how we value poromok. Is poromok a valuable thing, or is it a worthless thing? And to change it then, I think one would need to look at ways of re-injecting the original value into these commons. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jayaraj. I don't want to say a lot. Just one simple thread that I want to connect between what Jayaraj said and what Nitya said. There are many overlaps, there are many things that don't quite connect with each other in an easy way. But I think one common thread is the thread of technology. if commons are to be understood as spaces that sustain private life, and the public has to sustain those commons. That's what there is. And both the loss of commons and the recovery of commons has to involve technological knowledge. And both of you have talked in great detail about the kinds of things that are involved in this, very, very carefully organized, orchestrated practices and information. What do we need to do? Where do we need to go? And I think that it will be really useful if either of you can respond to that, but you can do that with end information. I want to ask a question from Flo.
There are a lot of actually maybe some questions, not a question. First speaker, no, his animated speech, the audio we couldn't decipher, so I may not be able to understand parts of his lecture. As far as this Chennai, you have substantiate your presentation with lot of satellite data and everything. But in Hyderabad, we do have lot of this saving lakes and other issues. Can you give your perspective on how the civil society and community in Hyderabad should put the scientific approach to propose any kind of a mitigating proposal for the civil society side or community side?
Let's take two more questions for comments and then we'll.
My question is primarily from accountability and transparency point of view. So when you say it's all a man-made disaster, it's not nature which is causing all of the disasters. You need to look at most of the solutions or most of the installations which are supposed to be made are prescribed by engineers and they have standards in place, and this has been done by the past 5 decades or so. Nothing older than that. City planning, urban planning doesn't date back so much, primarily in the case of any large installations like ports. So what is it that we need to do to make sure that the accountability part stays intact? We know that there are things happening everywhere in every city, but the question is, I'm a civil engineer, I know things are supposed to be designed in certain fashion, which never happens. What is it that we can do in terms of accountability?
Sir, as you said, Chennai, land disaster. Now we can see in Hyderabad, west side there is a huge growth. And I'll share 2 areas. That's near Gachibowli, Viaduct City Park. From Innovate Mall to that park area, there is 1,000 acres given to some private projects, ranging from 5 to 50 acres, each project. So it is dug, up to -4 level. And maybe towns are coming up there. Earlier, the entire water of that 1,000 acres used to go to 2 nearby lakes. Now, they are all going to be at one area, near the traffic circle. So what will happen once they come up? And in nearby areas, colonies are coming up like Rubble Hills. Houses are constructed. Roads are not there so far. Now, the department will go and lay a road. All the houses are coming up different levels. So one will give a road height of 2 feet, one will be at road level, one will be for 5 feet. So how can they match the road level? So this is small 2 centimeters of rainfall will also be a flood. We think flood only, it is about 10, 20 centimeters. But even 2 centimeters will have the same impact of 20 centimeters. So these are the huge, there are many such things are going on.
Yeah, my interest is actually looking at or exploring the so-called public education perspective, because in many ways, looking at both Bangalore and Chennai, and I'm sure everywhere else also, one of the prime kind of drivers of this kind of large-scale transformation of land use is the so-called public itself. And I think one of the hints given to us was the horizon for planning or for visioning. If you think short term, then you can move public perception and intention in a certain direction. But perhaps if you change the horizon, then it might be possible to reorient public aspiration in some sense, in the sense of approach. So that's an idea that I would like you to.
I think the three questions to the fourth comment. I just have a couple of quick comments that address all three things. One, we're saying, how do we continue to be like this, or even grow and protect ourselves? My thinking is that that is not possible. What we can do is have early warnings so we can run away from our homes. We can keep our valuable documents in the first floor. We can have the rescue and release. But the city that is currently existing, not everyone, but I can definitely say a place like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, the kind of damage that's being done, it cannot be undone through simple engineering interventions. The reason for that is, like what you said, you don't have JCBs that can build a new macro drain, and the macro drains run through people's houses. The second, what another friend talked about, civil engineering accountability. Again, the civil engineers is not a matter of accountability. The civil engineers are currently doing hit jobs. So I say, build a harbor or a port in Delhi. The civil engineers will do it. They'll give you a design to bring waters from a thing, pump it upwards, and we have ships moving from the Bay of Bengal. The problem is, the problem is that design is not the end all. Your first thing is siting. Should a port be located here? Should a city be located here? Yes. If the answer is yes, then you go into design, then you go into transparency. I'm saying you failed in the first part itself. So it is not an engineering problem. I think that it can be solved through policy interventions. Just as the city was made to grow, can we try to figure out ways of decongesting cities, of making it degrow, maybe unbuilding a little of it? That's it.
I'm going to take a different route in answering this, actually by answering Anand's question, and we should come back if I haven't answered this question. I mean, I told you, that's how I started. Like, I tried to study why we don't grow plants. And I found that among many other problems, the problem of the wetlands in Bangalore. And not just wetlands, and in fact that was only a very small part of the final book I wrote, but what I found out is actually we do follow plans. All that we are doing is exactly what we have planned. Exactly what we planned. So, in fact, my question was wrong. But I'm glad I found actually the right answer in the sense that we are actually doing it as planned. All the examples that show, they are all planned examples, building on top of the wetlands, giving land for a book, first of all, assigning it as for a book, and then, considering there is no value to it, and then building a value to it by giving it to a valuable, so-called valuable economic agent, and so on and so forth. So, the larger question to me there, this is where the question I would answer in this manner on accountability, on building 2 meters above the road. Chennai is full of buildings which are encroaching onto the footpath because they want to build 2 meters up. So the ramp for the cars is in fact taking over the entire, and not just Chennai, but most of the places where all the visioning of the public is concerned. And I would answer it in this manner that in the imagination of the public, we think there is a public that exists, a state that takes care of us, and then we willingly, which is the idea, that willingly perform the role of the subject of the rule. By forgetting, in fact, where the state has emerged, state is a consequence. Welfare state has produced its own subject of rule. It's produced together. While in our case we think that subject of rule, that is us, will wait for the public to solve, so it has to be accountable to us, right? While we actually keep on thinking it, the whole public, this is what I argue in my work, is that it doesn't exist. State doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It is taken over by communities of interest. So we perform the role of subject to the rule, demanding accountability, demanding that. It used to be like, burning a bus because we don't know where the state is, burning a public transport bus, that's the only way of throwing a stone at the secretariat building, because that's where we think the state is. There's many kinds of resistance, thinking that's where the state is, and the state doesn't care because it doesn't exist there. Similarly, performing the subject to the rule does exist only as long as the ruler exists. And I argue that doesn't. So then where do we go from here? Is in fact to form communities of interest. If you want to say that, form it. It is institutionally, politically, is what it is saved or created or shaped. If we do not form political institutional systems of whatever kind, middle class, lower class, this, that, the other, methods to be resistant, methods to be caught, whatever, politically one can stand at one point and think about it in the life, the outcomes and so on, but without forming politics, the community, I'm not very sure it gets formed, but then how do we go from here? Form political communities?
Thank you, Jayaraj and Niti. Does anyone want to make one final point?
Yeah, my question is addressed to Niti. Jayaraj spoke about a certain paucity of categories, and I wish to build on the same. A lot of the narratives that came out in the wake of Chennai floods in 2015 spoke about the failure of planning as primarily the cause of the event. And subsequently, we also have distinctions that you spoke of, distinctions such as elite encroachment and survival encroachment, legal encroachment and illegal encroachment. And what they seem to be doing is that they shape a certain notion of public, which is in turn amenable to interventions which lead to similar outcomes. Right? So, having said that, would you still defend the use of those categories for some strategic purposes, or would you, in light of the complexity of the problem that you spoke about and the landmark of your presentation, would you sort of suggest some of the other ways of thinking about these issues, and if yes, what would those be?
There are two responses to it. One is, what is my tactical response? There I will definitely use legal, illegal encroachments when it suits my purpose. But there's also, so for instance, I will talk about illegalities of, let's say, Kamraj Port or L&T Port in doing something. While I would not choose to invoke that in the case of the Hutments, because it been moved to another illegal encroachment elsewhere. But on a broader kind of meta level, I would think that what I would like to do is to question whether such large urban agglomerations are ever going to be secure, or will they continue to become more vulnerable? It's not an issue only with Chennai. I think that Chennai, Bangalore, New York faced it, in Louisiana, New Orleans faced it, Tokyo is extremely vulnerable. These are all, I'm talking about vulnerabilities to natural disasters. Essentially you are engineering yourself into a disaster by having such large agglomerations. So I think that is something that one needs to start talking about and seeing whether there's any truth to it and what can be done about it.
The end, we're closing this conversation now. I just want to say that both Niti is leaving this evening by around 3 o'clock. He should be out of this place. Jayaraj is here. And please do understand that this session is not meant to provide any closure. We recognize that there are no easy closures to any of the problems that we are talking about. And that's precisely why we have this ritualistic, every year, 2 days of getting together to figure out how to open up conversations, create new talking points and so on. So please do make best use of their presence here.